Hello, hello, hello. This is Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you from Temple Square in Salt Lake City. I'm looking at all the blinking lights. I don't know how many millions of lights are up there. They're very beautiful. And your tithing is paying the electricity. So, anyway, what I wanted to give you, again, the latest. Boy, when you go to my show, you've got it within minutes of things happening. Because I don't have a life. I just sit here, read the newspaper, watch shit, and then I report it to you. Anyway, I've said many times to you that Steve Benson, the grandson of Ezra Taft Benson, who was a prophet in the Mormon church, is one sharp cookie. This guy, boy, he knows his scriptures, and he knows a lot of people that the rest of us don't know. And Steve is kind enough to pass on to us slups his information from the hierarchy of the Mormon church. I have here down below, take a look at it for yourself, judge it for yourself, but it is the very first instant that the Mormon church is now making preparations to allow gays in their temples. You're going to see a mass defection from the Mormon church when these 75 and 80-year-old men and women are going to the temple and been doing it for 50 years and have to sit beside these gay couples and have the gay couples come to the altar to be the example to the rest of the group. Now, what do? Let me tell you, when you go to the temple, they have the name of the day for the men and the women. So every person that's a man that goes through the women, he gets, or through the endowment session, he gets a name. And it's the same as all the other guys. You know, it could be Adam, or it could be Abel, or it could be some kind of a religious name. And all the girls do the same thing. It's Emily or Sarah. So when you go to the temple, you get a new name. And so when you come out of the dressing room, if you're doing washing and anointings and or you're just getting dressed for a session, you go through a little curtain, and there's like the Wizard of Oz guy. He's behind the curtain, and he looks at your name tag, and he says, Sir David the Bard, under the authority of the priest or whatever, I give to you a new name. It is Jokabaka Yumuka. And I'll say, what? I can't say that name. It's Jokabaka Mukaba. And I go, God, okay, whatever. And so you have to take that name through the service of the endowment the whole day. Well, what if two gay guys go through and get the same name, Gokabaka Muka, and his mate gets Gokabaka Muka? Now, doesn't seem like a problem. Being an old veil worker, let me tell you where the problem is. When you come to the veil in a marriage, the woman has to tell the man her secret name. But discrimination, the man never has to tell the woman his secret name. So, when you go to get married in the temple now, and you've got these two gay guys, I guess they go to the male side of the veil. They don't go on the women's side, I don't think. And so here I am as the veil worker, and they'll do, and they knock with a little mallet on the aluminum that holds the curtains up, and I'll say, as God, now I'm representing God behind the curtain, and I'll say, what is wanted? Well, the temple worker, it's gonna be hilarious to try to fix this crap. The temple worker will say, Hukamakabibuma wants to, present himself before the Lord. Okay. So I then reach through the veil and give him the first token of the Aaronic priesthood, which is the thumb on the knuckle of the first finger there. And I'll say, what is that? And he'll say, the first token of the Aaronic priesthood. And I'll say, has it a name? And he'll say, it does. let's see, I think that's his given name there. Hokamoka Bekamuma. I say, okay. And I say, and what is that? And he'll say, the second token of the Aaronic priesthood. Well, you go through the whole veil ceremony, and now Hokamaka Bukamaya comes through the curtain. They'll knock 3 more times at the end, and I'll say, what is wanted? And then the temple worker will say, Hokamaka Bikamuma wants to enter the presence of the Lord, and I say, well, let him enter. Well, in that marriage, now his companion comes right behind him, and the ceremony is identical. They both have the same Hokamakabukai name. Now, when they're getting married, we put the husband at the veil. Well, which one is the husband? I guess they choose between themselves. So I coach the husband on one side of the veil, and the other temple worker coaches the other one on the other side. So you've got these 2 gay guys. One is playing God, and one is playing the woman. Well, the woman is on the outside veil, and I'm with the man. And so I'll say to him, they'll knock 3 times, and I'll say, what is wanted? And he'll say, what is wanted? So you get down to, has it a name? And the one guy will say on one side, it has. And then the other one, the God guy, will go, will you give it to me? And he'll go, Hokamaka Bukabaya. And God has the same name. Jeez. What do you do? That's supposed to be the secret name of the wife. Well, now, the God guy, the dominant male in the relationship, has the female gay person, the femi, whatever you want to call it. This is a cluster, F-U-K. We used to call this in construction. When you get a problem like this, we just call it a cluster, F-U-K. So anyway, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Now, then you have the law of chastity. Now you have these 2 gay guys on the men's side, and they all stand up, and the temple worker will say, well, now we're going to put you under oath for the law of chastity. Everyone raise your right hand to the square. Well, these 2 gay guys are standing. They raise their hand, and the guy says, and this is the law of chastity, that you'll have no sexual intercourse or anything like unto it except with your legally and lawfully wed husband or wife. And they all bow their head and they say yes. So these 2 gay guys are saying, well, you know, we're legally wed, so, you know, we belong in the temple. So it's funny. It just really is hilarious to see all of God's children, and you know I'm an atheist, but all of God's children being treated equally. And all of the older people in Utah are going to do the new Mormon hokey pokey dance. It's called Oh Shit, I Quit. And they're gone out in the parking lot, and they throw their temple clothes in the trash can. Now, when you go to the temple, the men have certain clothes and the women have certain clothes. So if you're gay, I guess both of you dress in men's clothes. If you're lesbian, both of you dress in female clothes. So anyway, it's hilarious to see this. And go ahead and click down now on Steve's comments, because Steve has some inside people in the inner sanctum of the Mormon Church that know what really is going on and what's coming down. And this is the very, very first documented piece I've seen that the Mormon Church knows what's going to happen on their appeal. They know that gay marriage is going across the whole nation, and they're already starting to review their temple bullshit and cult handshakes. Now let me just leave with one comment. Okay, when you're at the veil, well, they've quit this now. There used to be called the 5 points of fellowship, And the 5 points of fellowship, I think, were mouth to mouth, ear to ear, hand to back, knee to knee, and penis to penis or penis to vagina. Maybe that's the 6 points of fellowship. But anyway, the girls didn't like the guys on the other side of the veil hooking their knees up into their crotch. So the girls said, that ain't right. So they dropped that. They dropped that. So they don't do the 5 points of fellowship anymore. But, you know, there's just some rock and roll shit that goes on in there. And for them to try to untangle this monster is hilarious. But take a look what Steve said and the authorities that he's speaking for and with. Thanks.